Welcome to Talking at Night. This is our new short form podcast where we talk about horror and space related things every weekend. Here with me tonight is my partner Donovan, who you haven't met yet. He'll be the lead researcher for all stuff space related for the channel. Introduce yourself, dude.
Yeah, hello. As my partner and friend just stated, I'll be the main researcher for the space-related topics and normal guests for our weekly podcast where we talk about everything space and horror-related. Now, I hear you have a couple ghost stories you'd like to share.
I have a lot of ghost stories to share, actually. But before I get into them, because there is so many, I do want to kind of ask you, do you have any stories to tell?
I have a couple. Now, I've got like two. I'm not a big nerd on ghost stuff, so I don't know what they are, but if you'd like me to share, I can share.
Go ahead, I'm all ears.
Okay, well, back when I was a kid, where I used to live, we used to think the house was haunted because me and my mom had a couple experiences. I can only remember one of mine and one Mom would always talk about. But Mom was saying that there was a little kid. She'd kind of sometimes describe it as a ghost, sometimes describe it as an apparition. It really depended on the day. But she'd say she'd hear it a couple times, and like a couple times she was saying she could see it clear as day, like it was a little girl, like maybe 5 or 6 years old.
Damn.
And one time she was telling us that at the time my brother was 2 or 3, so he was still a little kid. But she would tell us that one day she was woken up in the middle of the night, and she thought it was my little brother, and she went to turn over and talk to them, and it was a little girl in a white dress, I believe, if I can remember the story correctly. And she said the little girl was asking her if she was all right and if she wanted to play and stuff like that. And it really creeped her out. Yeah, it creeped her out. Ideally, it creeped me out too, because we lived in the same home. Now,
Yeah.
She didn't tell us about that story at the time. She told us about it a couple years back, like a couple years ago. But
That's freaking creepy, dude.
Yeah, it was still kind of creepy though, because you can kind of feel it. And then there was my experience where I was, like I said, I was young, and I was sitting in bed. I was trying to go to sleep, and one day I woke up randomly in the middle of the night, and I thought I saw eyes appearing from one of the air vents on the ground, if you know what I'm talking about, the ones that kind of angle out.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I saw eyes, and I was kind of really creeped out, and like I couldn't breathe, and I was having chest pains, like it felt like something was on my chest. And Mom was in the shower. I know Mom was in the shower because I believe Dad was at work, because if I remember correctly, Dad worked nights. And I went to go get Mom and knock on the shower door, but I couldn't talk. And to this day, it still kind of creeps me out, and sometimes I still have dreams about it and such. But those are my two stories, and I don't know if you could shed any light on the topic as to if they're apparitions or ghosts or spirits, but those are my two stories.
You know, I've always been curious of why, whenever you hear about a little ghost girl running around, why is the little ghost girl always wearing a white dress? It's always a white dress. Well, it never fails.
Well, yeah, but you gotta remember, like, sometime kids or something, little kids, like little females, because like I said, I don't think I told her age. The little girl was, I think, somewhere between 3 to 5,
yeah,
if I remember correctly. And if you think most little girls that age like to wear dresses and play dress up, so if something happened in the house, maybe, or even on the property of land where the house was located, maybe something happened to the girl while she was wearing a dress, or other spirit girls while they were wearing the dress or something.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Man, that air vent story, holy shit. Give me fucking chills. Oops, I said a bad word.
It's all good. I'm pretty sure our viewers wouldn't mind. If you do mind, be sure to tell us in the comments, and we can watch our language more. This is just how we normally speak.
I'm trying to hold back swearing.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get back to the main reason we're here. But
My stories.
yeah,
I
you're
have I have a crap ton of them.
you're the ghost expert, so go away.
Well, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I can definitely say that I am very interested in the paranormal. I'm interested in horror in general, so like ghosts interest me, like all like the cryptid zoology and stuff. Not that I necessarily believe in it, but
Yeah.
it's definitely holds an interest.
Now,
Like the mystery component to it is what really drives me crazy.
now before we start your stories real quick, is it all right if I ask you, like, what you believe about them and how you believe they're ghosts?
Um,
Why you believe they're there?
well, because I've had experiences through my life that I can't explain through any other reason besides the paranormal or supernatural. But it's weird because I'm I don't I'm not religious, right?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily believe in like the Bible and all that kind of stuff. But something about just the idea of ghosts in general and the fact that I've had these experiences, I feel like a hypocrite sometimes because it's like how can you believe in an afterlife but not necessarily believe in the other stuff that comes with it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but well, have you ever thought of, like, maybe they're not in the afterlife, maybe it's their energy lingering around. Like, their energy has a mind of its own, and the energy is being manipulated by some other force which we don't understand yet.
Could be. Very well could be. All right, but let's get into my stories. My spooky, scary skeleton stories. Not skeleton stories, ghost stories.
Spooky, scary ghosts.
So let's start with my earliest ghost encounters. Let's basically go through my history of ghost stories.
That's a good way to go through it.
Just from the beginning of it all to the most recent ones from just a couple days ago. Okay, so the first ghost experience I ever had, I actually don't remember having. I have been told by everyone in my family that this happened to me, but I don't remember it. So I don't know how credible it is or not, but the first ghost encounter that I allegedly ever had was I was around 2 or 3 years old, and I was playing in my room, and I ran out of my room and went and told my mom that I saw an old lady standing in my room. She goes in my room, and there's nobody there. A few years down the road, I see a picture of my great-grandma, and I tell my mom, that's the girl, that's the lady that I saw in my room. So, I don't remember seeing her. I guess I was too young to remember seeing her.
Well,
But
have you ever met her in person when you were a kid, or did she pass away before that?
my headphones came unplugged. Continue.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Technical difficulties happens all the time.
But have you ever met your grandmother, or have your parents talked about you meeting your grandmother while you were a baby, or did she pass away before then?
She passed away a little under a year before I was born. So I never met her.
So what are your views on the topic? Like, why do you think you were seeing her? Because what I'm thinking is maybe she was coming and that was her way of visiting you before she passed on completely.
Well, according to my dad, he's seen her too. So, but he saw her a lot later in my childhood, when I was in my early teens. He claims to have seen her at the foot of his bed.
That's not creepy at all.
Absolutely not. That is the most calm thing somebody could do, I guess.
Just like, imagine if you woke up and there was a grandma at the end of your bed. That'd be weird. Anyways, we're getting a little off topic. My bad.
But it's like, besides that, even though I don't remember it, I can't stress that enough. I don't remember seeing this, but everybody in my family has told me this is what happened, but I don't remember it. So besides that event, I have never, I guess, I've seen like shadows and stuff like in the corner of my eye and stuff like that, but I've never full on seen a ghost. Like, I've never seen a full realistic, like how your mom saw the little girl, right?
Yeah, like full facial features that you can tell.
Never seen anything like that. I've been open to it. I've wanted to, but I just never have, and I don't know why. Because other people in my family, like I said, has seen dead people clear as day, except I haven't, and I'm kind of jealous of that.
Yeah, the one thing that gets you going and gets you happy, you've never experienced, but other people who don't strive for that kind of experience are experiencing it.
I know, right? I mean, like one of my brother's paranormal experiences almost caused him to die.
How so?
Well, just in like the next few ghost stories, you'll hear more about this. But a brother-like friend had passed away in 2007, and he was so close. Like I said, he was a brother, family friend. Like, if we weren't over at his house, he was over at our house. His parents took us on vacations, and we took him on vacations with us.
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking when he passed. And him and my brother were really freaking close. And when my brother joined the military, he was shaving in the bathroom. He was shaving his beard off because in the Army you can't have facial hair, you gotta shave.
Yeah.
So, and he said all of a sudden that he appeared right behind him and scared the crap out of him and almost caused him to slit his own throat.
Wow. Well, was your friend kind of like a prankster?
Oh, yes. Yes, very much so.
Do you think he could have been pulling a prank in the afterlife and maybe didn't expect it to do that? Maybe he just wanted like a little jump scare or something like that?
Oh, most definitely, because he's pulled pranks on me and my brother multiple times. That's not the only time he pulled pranks on my brother while my brother was in the Army. But I don't want to keep talking about my brother's experiences. I want to talk about my experiences that involve my brother, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But, so, like I said, he passed away in 2007, and then a couple years went by, and my brother finally got out of the Army, came home. It was so awesome to have my brother back home after 3-4 years of him being gone. And when he got back home from the Army, the friend, his name was Scott, by the way, so I don't have to keep saying friend, his name was Scott. Scott still continued to mess with my brother after he got home. And
kind of like he connected to something and brought him back.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but eventually, my brother just got tired of it and would say, "All right, whatever, Scott, leave me alone. Go bother my brother. Go bother Mikey." And then shit would start happening to me. No freaking joke. Like, I had a dog tag necklace that had Scott's face on it. We got him from a mall, and they printed his face on it. And I had it hanging from the light in my room. And it would just start swinging swinging. It would start going in circles, or it would lift up into the air and then drop back down and start to swing. It was so freaking creepy, dude. It
I'd
was
imagine.
so creepy. Like, it was
To be
never
honest-
anything malicious. It was just, haha, I'm here, still joking with you, even when I'm not around anymore.
Yeah. Like moving stuff around and like, to be honest, like that creeped me out. I get scared when I think I see a shadow, to be honest.
Well, speaking of moving stuff around, when I was little, I had a teddy bear. Every kid has a freaking teddy bear when they're little. But I had a teddy bear, and when he was alive, he would always take my teddy bear and put it on the top of his entertainment center and hide it from me because I couldn't reach it. And that's one of the ways he would mess with me. And it would piss me off because he's taking my things and hiding it, right?
Yeah.
And after he died, my teddy bear would still go missing. And where would it be when we found it? Atop the entertainment center where he always put it.
Kind of like he's still reminding you he's here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay, I got a question for you.
I've got a question to answer.
Do you remember at my old house, that my closet was duct taped shut?
I do remember that your closet was duct taped shut. You never let me open it.
Do you know why it was duct taped shut?
I do not. To this day, you have still kept it a secret.
Do you want to know?
I'm dying to hear, dude. I want to know why I've never been able to get into that closet.
Well, for one, it was a horror show in there. There was so much freaking clothes and toys and trash in there that if you opened the door, things would fall out. But
Jeez.
besides that, my closet door would open by itself. Nothing big, right? It didn't have a door handle in it. So, of course, from time to time, it was going to open because there was nothing to keep it latched.
Yeah. Well,
But,
don't you think if there was anything in your closet, maybe it was gasping for air because you said it was a horror show in there?
Could be. Why do dead people need air?
Why do dead people move things around?
Because they're pissed off interior decorators.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. But anyways, continue.
Okay, so at first, because my door couldn't latch because there was no door handle in it, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was popping open. Maybe stuff inside my closet was falling against the door, which was causing it to open, right?
Yeah.
So I started to make sure that it wouldn't just accidentally come open. I started putting like markers or pencils into the door jamb, so to keep it from opening out. Like, it would take quite a bit of force for you to open that door.
Yeah.
If there was a pencil or marker jammed in the door jamb, but it would still open. And the last straw, before I decided to take duct tape and just seal it shut, because I was done with messing with it, that I woke up and heard scratching at the door. Okay?
Wow.
I heard something inside my closet scratching at my door. Then, when I looked at my door, since it didn't have a doorknob, I could see into the closet through the hole where the doorknob would be.
Yeah.
I saw two red eyes looking at me from the closet. That is the night that I decided to duct tape my bedroom door shut, and I duct taped over the hole.
Wow. Now, you don't think since it has opened your door before, it wasn't vicious because it never attacked you?
Then why did it have red eyes? Every demon has red eyes.
Well, you gotta think, though, just because it has red eyes doesn't make it a demon. Like, does a red-haired chick make them a demon?
No. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But,
Hey, are you knocking on redheads? I'm a redhead.
no, I'm not knocking on redheads.
I'm just fucking with you.
I'm just saying they steal souls. That's all I'm saying. But,
Do not tell people about our plot.
Shh, they must never know. Well, you don't think it was attempting to harm you? Maybe it was just trying to get free or something, because you said it's opened your door countless times before.
Yeah.
So who's to say if there was something in there trying to harm you, it didn't harm you then? The other times it opened your door.
I didn't freaking care. I just didn't want it to open my door again.
Well, hey, that could have been your first incident to see a ghost or apparition in full detail.
Could be. But do
But
red eyes
still-
really count, though?
Well, it was dark, so you couldn't really see in full detail anyways.
That's true. And I only had a small little hole to look through.
Yeah. But yeah, that's creepy.
And then other random things that happened in that house was one of my bedroom walls shared a wall with our dining room, which we had a pool table in.
Yes, I remember that.
And the rack where the pool cues was on the wall that shared with my bedroom. And at night,
Yeah.
I would hear the pool sticks rattle. And it was a regular occurrence, too. I would hear those rattle, and I would hear footsteps up and down the hallway. And they were very
Sounds like-
prominent, considering that the hallway had wood floors in it.
Sounds like you do have a really mad interior decorator.
And then I experienced stuff in the house I am in now, but it's different stuff. Like, some things have been moved, yes, but not to the extent as they used to be. Like, I don't feel like Scott messes with me as much as he used to. Probably
Yeah.
now that I'm older. And
Well, do
I
you still
wouldn't.
have your teddy bear?
No.
Well,
Well, I technically do. It's in a baggie in the basement because it's
Yeah.
all dilapidated.
well, maybe. What was your friend's name again? Scotty?
Scott. That's why my brother's son's name's Scott.
Well, maybe he was attached to the teddy bear, as not like how I mentioned, like maybe it's energy. Maybe his energy was attached to the teddy bear, and when his teddy bear wasn't around you, he didn't feel like he had a reason to be here anymore. So maybe he's moved on.
I never freaking thought of that. And I'm supposed to be the ghost guy.
I'm not saying you aren't the ghost guy. I'm open-minded to anything.
I've never even thought of that. Yeah, that could have been a possibility. Maybe he was just attached to the teddy bear that I don't have anymore.
Yeah.
That's really opening my eyes. Holy shit. Sorry.
Well, that means now you got to go into the basement and dig out the teddy bear and see if stuff starts happening again.
We might have to do that.
So we could maybe talk about that in a later podcast or something like that.
Yeah, have to be an experiment. I'll talk about if anything happens.
Yeah.
On top of what's already happening. So let's get into what's already happening.
Yeah, so let's get to what's been happening recently.
So, I've lived in the current house I'm living in right now. I've lived here for 3 years.
Okay.
Right. Stuff didn't start happening until actually just about under 6 months ago.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit longer than that. But similar to what your mom has experienced, my dad claims to have seen a little girl at the end of his bed, just staring at him.
Man, what's with little girls and horror stories?
I don't know. Little girls are creepy, I guess.
Maybe nature's just like, it'd be really creepy.
Every
Little
ghost
girl.
is a little girl with black hair and a dress.
Even if it's a dude, we're just going to turn it into a little girl ghosts just to creep people out.
Exactly. That's it. That's the key to life, Donovan.
Bam, right there. Somebody call the FBI. We got to explain some stuff.
But anyway, So we didn't think nothing of it when my dad told us about this because you know my dad, he's a freaking loon sometimes.
Yeah.
He tells stories, but we started to believe him when me and my mom started to hear a little girl's voice.
I remember you telling me about that.
And it'd be at like 3, 4 in the morning, and it'd be on a weekend, so my sister-in-law's daughter wasn't home. She was at her dad's.
Yeah.
So there's no way it could have been her. And me and my mom both heard a little girl, on separate occasions, mind you, and I've heard it more than once, a little girl yell for her mommy multiple times.
Yeah.
So when I started hearing that, I was like, okay, maybe there is something to what my dad has been saying. I mean, this is kind of creepy. My dad said he saw a little ghost girl standing in the foot of his bed, and now I'm hearing a ghost yell for her mommy.
Yeah.
And then my door started opening by itself. And I don't know how much you remember my door handle before it got changed, but it was really freaking tough to open my door.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Like, my door handle, for some reason, was so sticky when it came to turning it that I would have to open the door. Like, when my mom would come say goodnight to me, I would have to open my own bedroom door to let my mom in so she could say goodnight because she wasn't able to turn my door handle.
Yeah, it was a really tough door handle.
So, what are the odds that my door would open, let alone my door opening, but my door opening to the point where it was opened so quietly I didn't realize it until my cat came into my room and started meowing in front of me.
Now, you don't think that this could be the same ghost that was back where you used to live? Maybe he's like, you suffocated me in your closet, now I must seek revenge.
It could be possible considering I don't have a closet door anymore.
Yeah. He's not going to torment you with closet doors anymore. He's just going to open your door repeatedly.
And then, on top of that, I've heard knocking at random places.
Yeah.
In my house. And, the scariest knocking I ever heard was I was gonna sleep up in the living room one night because I had taken my PlayStation up there for me and my dad to watch a movie, and I was just too lazy to take it back down stairs to my room. So I was just gonna sleep upstairs, and I had put on Netflix. I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos. Great show, by the way. I love that show. Donovan doesn't.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
Yeah, not sponsored, but I love that show. I don't know why you don't like it, but we can get into that another time.
We can get into that with next week's podcast about space.
Yeah. But, I was watching that, and, I heard knocking on the doorway between the kitchen and our Florida room. And me being the little skeptical asshole I am, I just said out into the open air, do it again. So I heard the knock. It was hard. It was like boom. And then I go, do it again. And then I hear, and then me still being that asshole, I go, do it again. And then I hear, and then I went downstairs because I was scared.
Yeah, I me being like your friend for so long, I know you do that, and I can imagine exactly how you said it and what your reaction would be.
I have never unhooked a game console so fast in my life.
I would have just said screw it and just ran downstairs without the game console.
Yeah. But I was stubborn. I was like, I don't want the ghost to eat me, and I don't want it to be mad that I'm leaving and then it destroy my game.
But yeah, that does bring back my attention to one experience I've had at your house. I was crashing at your house one time, and I remember telling you about this. I can't remember if you remember, but it was like, what was it? 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning?
Yeah, I think I remember this because I was asleep. what
Yeah,
happened.
you were asleep. I believe we were watching. I can't remember what the TV show was, but I was up watching it. I was playing on my phone. I was getting ready to head to bed, and then just randomly out of nowhere, I just felt like I wasn't alone. And obviously, it's not because you were in the room, but I felt like there was a presence or something in the corner of the room by where I guess you could say your closet would be, kind of like by your door in that back little cubby of your room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just feeling weird, and your TV turned off, and oh, who
My
knows?
TV turned off?
Yeah, it might have been like an auto off function or something
You did
from it.
not tell me that.
Well, I'd imagine it was an auto off function because you do have one of those on your TV, correct?
Yeah, but if you said that a show was playing, it wouldn't shut off by itself. Unless my PlayStation turned off first.
I didn't even think about that.
So was my PlayStation off when it turned off?
No, your PlayStation was on.
Yeah, that's creepy. Dude, that's fucking creepy.
I didn't even think about that till now, till you brought it to my attention. But something at that point, I was like, okay, maybe it's just nothing. And I was playing on my phone. I was on my Facebook for a bit, and just something just kept bringing my attention back to the corner of your room, by where your door was, and
I feel like I get stared at from that area of my room so much.
it was just offsetting. It wasn't creepy. It wasn't like I didn't hear no noises, no knocking, no nothing. There was the whole incident with the TV, which I didn't, like I said, I didn't think about till now. But aside from that, it just offsetting. It didn't feel like it was I was gonna lose my life over it, but it was
Right.
offsetting.
Very creepy. You didn't like you told me the part about being watched, but you didn't tell me that my TV turned off.
Well, like I said, I didn't think it'd be a big deal. I believe, I'm almost positive, since you've got a newer TV, that it has an auto-off function. So I was thinking,
It does, but it wouldn't have done that unless the power to the console was off.
yeah, I didn't even
Like
think
right
about-
now, my PlayStation's on. It's sitting on YouTube, and it's been on there for hours, but it won't shut off until my PlayStation itself turns off.
I didn't even think about that.
That is creepy, dude.
Yeah, but lately, I hear you've got some new stories. Some stories you haven't even told me yet.
I do. Because as you know, me and my mom and my sister-in-law like to go ghost hunting in cemeteries.
Yeah.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's stupid, I know, but I like doing it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And we've heard stuff, we've seen stuff, we've gotten orbs on camera, but we went a couple days ago, and the events that took place over this weekend were one of the most stressful ghost experiences I've ever had.
Please do explain.
Okay, so we left our house at about 9:30, and we went to the cemetery that my grandma's church owns. And the way it's set up is you got my grandma's church and part of the cemetery behind it, and then across the road, on the other side of the road, is the other part of the cemetery. And so we park next to the church, and we walk around behind the church part of the cemetery, and we've ghost hunted at that cemetery before, and we've never really felt like we felt stuff was there, like we felt presence around us,
Yeah.
but we never felt like whatever was there wanted us gone or it wanted to hurt us, right?
Yeah. Kind of like it's just there.
It's just there. It's just observing us
Yeah.
and what we're doing. And But on the other side, across the road, is where we feel, and every time we've went there and went across the street on the opposite side of the church, on the other side of the street from the church,
Yeah.
every time we've went over there, we felt like there was something there that was hateful and harmful and wanted to do harm to us. And the last time we went there, I guess maybe the hate was just building up for some reason, and we go there, and I decide I have a voice recorder, and so I do EVP sessions, and what I like to do is, while my mom and my sister-in-law walk around and take pictures, see if they can catch orbs on camera, I like to do EVP sessions. I sat underneath a tree in the middle of the cemetery, and then just sat there and turned on the recorder and just started talking to whatever was around me. I told it to touch me, I told it to talk to me, I told it to hit me if it wanted to. It could do anything it wanted to show that it was there. Then, as soon as I told it it had permission to touch me, I felt what felt like a finger push my head downward.
Wow.
Not only that, right after that, I started to get a headache. And my mom came over, and as she was walking toward me, I heard like a twig snap, or like it sounded like somebody snapped their finger, like somebody just snapped their finger once. And I got that noise on the recorder, and then right after I heard it, I asked my mom, "Did you hear that?" And you can hear the snap on the recorder, and you can hear me ask my mom, "Did you hear that?" And she goes, "No." And she told me to stay where I was, and she was going to take a picture of me to see if she could capture anything on camera, if there was like an orb or something above me. And then off to my right side, which the way I was sitting, the road was of the right of me. And I started to hear a crunching noise. Not like leaves being stepped on or something like that. It actually sounded like if somebody was eating cereal really loud. If you know what that noise is.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And I got that on my EVP too. I got that noise recorded too. And I told my mom, I hear crunching to the right of me. Take a picture of the right of me. And she did. She didn't get anything on camera. So I got up, I stopped the recording, and then started to walk forward ahead of me. And so I was walking toward the edge of the cemetery, and on the edge of the cemetery there's a tree boundary, like a row of trees that separate the cemetery from a house that's right there. There's a house like on the other side of the tree line.
Yeah.
And me and my sister-in-law both saw a gray figure walk across the tree line. My mom didn't see it because at the time she was taking a picture.
Yeah.
She didn't get it on camera, but me and my sister-in-law both saw the same thing. We went over there just to see just to go over there to see if there was anything there.
Yeah.
And I looked back towards the middle of the cemetery where I was sitting down previously.
Yeah.
And I saw a black figure move across a tree. And then me and my sister-in-law, for some reason my mom didn't see any of this or hear any of this. And she was kind of upset about it. She's like, "Why are you guys experiencing everything and I just get left in the dust?" But me and my sister-in-law both heard whistling coming from the back of the cemetery. And then we all agreed that stuff was getting pretty heated, so we should probably just go. Think we're seeing things. We're seeing black figures that don't seem pretty friendly. So we were just going to go. We were going to go home. We've been out there for a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
We got pictures taken. And then as we started leaving the cemetery, my sister-in-law said she heard growling coming from the back part of the cemetery where we heard whistling.
Yeah.
And then we picked up speed, and we told whatever was there that we were leaving, we were going home, and to not follow us, and that we do not give you permission to follow us. You shall not follow us home. And apparently that shit don't work. Apparently they can still follow you home even though you tell them not to.
Well, it's an apparition. What do you expect? I mean, yes, they're the spirits and energy or whatnot, whatever you decide to call them, but they're not like slaves. They don't have to do what you tell them to.
Well, the reason I say that is because you always hear about it, stuff going like, oh, if you just tell it to leave you alone, it will, and then it can't follow you home unless you give it permission. And then it's like, and then, yeah, and I agree with your logic right there. It's like, if there's things out there that can fucking do what ghosts do, what makes you think that they're just going to stop because you told them to, or they're just going to listen to you just because you said not to, or whatever?
Yeah.
But when we got home, like I said, I kind of foreshadowed, yes, we got followed home by something. Something did follow us home. Because, like I said, how I said that I had a headache after I felt like I got pushed in the head?
Yeah.
My headache started to go away as soon as we left the cemetery.
Huh.
And then, when we got home, we were sitting in the garage, and my sister-in-law's dad said that he felt like there was something around him. And shit you not, this is something you can't make up. You can't fake your arm hair standing up. Literally, every single hair on his arm was standing straight up on both arms, right? And everybody in that garage said that they felt like there was something in there, and me included. I felt like I was being watched. I felt like there was a pressure over me that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And then what's weird is I was getting my mom's camera out of her bag to take a picture of him, and as soon as I pulled the camera out to take a picture, the feeling went away, and his arm hairs went back down. And then everybody all agreed that, oh, whatever was here is gone. It's not here anymore. And then, my sister-in-law's dad, who sleeps out in the garage, claims that during the night he heard repeated loud banging on the garage door and things moving around the garage all night.
Yeah.
And then my brother told me that he had a dream that a girl said that she was the one that had followed us home from the cemetery, and that she liked me, that not like in a love kind of way, like she had feelings for me or whatever.
She was just interested.
She just felt drawn to me, and that she followed me home, and basically that she wanted to, basically, what I got from it is that she wanted to, like, protect me.
Yeah.
And, but when all this stuff was going on, Sam's dad told whatever was making all that noise to go away, and that's when Richie said that in his dream she said that she was going. She was leaving.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, everything was calm. Nothing was there.
It's weird.
And I can tell you that whatever I felt in that garage that night and felt down in my room that night, it wasn't there in the morning. Whatever was there is gone now, and I don't feel it anymore. And according to my brother, whatever came to him in his dream was not the same little girl that my dad saw.
So possibly different apparitions or...
Because the girl my dad saw, my dad said that she was like 7, 8, 9 years old. The girl that my brother saw in his dream, he said was between mine and my brother's age. So roughly about between 24 and 25 years old.
Well, it's pretty weird.
It's freaking terrifying.
Well, now, this is something I've been thinking about. And what if this is kind of going to, like, mix our two topics of space and ghosts. But this is a theory that's been going through my head. Is we know that there's 4 dimensions, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is, time, which is, or let me start from the first dimension. There is longitude. So, I can't remember. I know what the 4 dimensions are. I can't remember what they are. But there's 4 dimensions, okay?
You're blanking out, man.
I am blanking out. But we live in 3 dimensions.
This isn't a space episode anyway.
So what if ghosts, because the 4th dimension is time, what if ghosts are pretty much humans in the 4th dimension reliving like old memories of locations and revisiting places in the past, but they're already dead? It's where it starts to get confusing in my mind. But do you comprehend what I'm trying to say?
A little bit. Like I've heard numerous things of like maybe that's what shadow people are, or that they're like creatures from a different dimension, but they're from a higher dimension, so they can still perceive our dimension, but we can't perceive theirs. Yeah,
because we know 4 dimensions, and we can control 3 of them, but we cannot control the 4th one, which is time.
Like how technically like ants are 2-dimensional creatures that, like, if an ant was walking on my table right now in front of a Lego brick, and I took the Lego brick and picked it up, the ant would have no comprehension of where the hell that brick went.
Yeah, because you just moved it to a different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said something about that.
I believe so. I believe it's in the book Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
The book you're going to still let me borrow?
I will let you borrow, and in our next episode we can talk about it and stuff like that. But it's got me thinking the reason we don't understand the 4th dimension is because we don't enter the 4th dimension until we die.
That could be.
Kind of like the 4th dimension is like our energy transfers to the 4th dimension, and we're 4-dimensional beings as ghosts.
Interesting.
Which, if you think about it, would tie into your stories of the woman who said she feels she's drawn to you. Like maybe you remind her of someone in her past.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, he still remembers you, but he's in the 4th dimension, the dimension of time. So he can still go with you through time, but as a different kind of being.
A different level of being.
Yeah, like a 4-dimensional being, to whereas we're still 3-dimensional.
Could
but
be.
that's kind of my theory, and I know a bunch of the viewers that will watch this probably won't understand what I meant, because I probably blabbered a bit. But what goes on in my mind, I understand. That's the important part. But
because there's so many different views on what ghosts are or what they could be. And you got the whole religious aspect of it, and then you have the scientific aspect of it, and then because, I mean, even through all the personal experiences that not every human being, because not every human being experiences this kind of stuff, but everybody throughout time that's experienced it. I mean, we really don't have any scientific proof. Like, ghosts have never been studied in a lab. So
we've never been able to repeat a test over and over to prove it's a ghost.
Exactly. So maybe ghosts could exist, like you said, or it could go into something religious, and we're just too stubborn to agree with it, or we could all just be crazy.
Yeah, what we could be seeing is like shadows, and
We
we're
could be
also
hallucinating.
yeah,
Somebody took shrooms and was going bonkers.
yeah. But like you just said, you never know because everyone's got different perspectives. Because I know I've got a different perspective of ghosts than you do. Because like I just explained, the fourth dimension, four-dimensional beings, is my perspective of ghosts. Whereas you believe that they're spirits or energy, as you stated earlier, I believe.
Right.
So you never know.
But if that was the case, then how would that explain, like, some ghosts that want to harm you, or some ghosts that want to protect you, or just some ghosts that don't think anything of you?
Well, now you kind of got to bear with me because I may touch some sensitive nerves on some people, but sometimes you got to think of not all ghosts are going to be from a neutral person. The ghosts that could want to harm you could be like thieves or murderers or other people who died in the act or died in prison and ventured out, and the ones that could want to protect you could be like stuff like your brother, like Richie in the military, and it's what he's meant to do, or some of the diehard veterans that died serving people or cops protecting people, and they feel even though they're other beings or they're just energy or something like that, they still feel the need to either inflict harm or protect.
So it basically boils down to, if you're a nice person in life, then you're going to be a nice person in death, and if you're bad in life, then you're bad in death, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, which that's the only explanation I can think of as to why some would want to harm you, some would want to hurt you, and some just don't care about you because they don't know you and they've never had any experiences with you. In my opinion, it all comes down to how the person was when they passed.
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me too.
All right. So that's all we really have time for. We've been going at it for quite some time now. Is there any few closing statements you want to say?
Yeah, if you guys want to hear more of this, or you're interested, or you have, like, you want us to try a different format of video, like going towards more scientifically proven than stories, feel free to drop it in the comments what you want to hear. We're open to any suggestions. And we do try our best to alternate topics between weeks. Like this week was ghosts, so next week we're going to attempt to try to get something space related, and we're going to try to keep going at the pattern. You guys could tell us if you like that, and just pretty much give us your thoughts down in the comments.
You'll be leading that conversation.
I will be leading that conversation, and I'm really excited to, and I've already got some stuff I can't wait to talk about.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm so interested in space, but you know more about it than I do. Like, I know quite a bit myself, but not to the extent that you do.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, one of these days you got to come out with me sometime.
I will. I just got to have a ride.
I can get you a ride. But anyways, like Mikey said, now we're just talking about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's all we got for the video, then like I just mentioned, drop a comment if you liked what we're doing and what we plan on doing, or you want us to change something, just drop a comment telling what your opinion is.
All right. Thank you for watching us talk at night. If you enjoyed listening to our short form podcast, please like the video and consider subscribing for more content like this. Also, comment some interesting topics for us to cover that are horror or space related in the future. Thank you guys so much for joining us at night.